Several prominent YouTube creators are flipping out after it appears that several of their videos have been demonetized. So these are videos that were previously making money, and now it turns out that YouTube has decided that they can no longer make money due to the content of those videos. Now, Philip DeFranco, who's a very well-known YouTuber, raised awareness about this issue after he realized that many of his videos were demonetized, and some are calling this censorship. However, YouTube is saying that this has nothing to do with censorship. This is all about making sure that ads go onto ad-friendly content. Now, the channels that self-identify as vulnerable by these advertising guidelines seem to be news channels covering sensitive real-world topics, kind of like us, though YouTubers with gaming content are also reporting more demonetized content recently.
I just want to be super clear. The original news story had everybody saying that YouTube has decided to do this now.
Yeah.
YouTube says, no, that's not the case. You never knew it, but they were always demonetized. Now, this new action is just letting you know that they were always demonetized and giving you an avenue in which to appeal that decision, which actually is good news for you. I think that their critics do have one point, including for us, for example. It would have been nice if you had told us all along that they were demonetized.
Right. A lot of people did not know.
Yeah. And so telling us this late is a little problematic. But I'm actually going to come to the defense of YouTube on a lot of these issues, even though this has probably affected us more than any other channel.
Yeah, so many of our videos have been demonetized, and Cenk is right. If anything, now there's more transparency and there is an avenue in which you can appeal the decision to demonetize the video, but also understand that the decision to demonetize doesn't necessarily lie within YouTube and the people that work there. It has more to do with what the advertisers want. Now, what kind of content usually gets flagged as not friendly for advertising material? YouTube's advertiser-friendly content guidelines page says that swearing, sexually suggestive content, violence, drug use, or usage of controversial subjects are not advertiser-friendly. So that last part is what concerns me the most, usage of controversial subjects. Advertisers don't want to advertise on videos with controversial subjects, and that's super frustrating, which is why it's important for, the membership program that we have, for instance. Our members allow us to report any topic that we think is important, any topic that they think is important, and we don't have to worry about whether or not we're advertiser friendly. All we worry about is whether or not we're audience friendly and we're serving them.
So tytnetwork.com/join to become a member. But okay, now let me hit the substance of this. So number one, this is not YouTube's doing. So I not only am the host of this show, but I run the network. So I deal with advertisers, I deal with the business side all the time. This is standard fare for advertisers. Now, you can get angry at the advertising world, at the advertising agencies, and say, how dare they, et cetera. And in fact, I think the most legitimate criticism of them is that this is not 1955. If we do a controversial story or one that involves violence that ISIS is taking, for example, people will not be shocked and chagrined. Like the old way of thinking for advertisers is, oh no, I don't want my toothpaste near a controversial topic. My God, Harriet will be turned off by that and not buy it. Okay, we don't live in that world anymore. No one cares. They just, if you support content that they like, they're more likely to buy your stuff. I don't know why, it's not that hard. You should have figured that out. But it's not incumbent upon YouTube to change the entire advertising world. If YouTube said, well, we don't care if you think it's not advertiser friendly, we're just going to disperse your ads throughout all these videos whether you like them or not, guess what would happen? Then YouTube would have no advertising.
So I'll give you guys an example. Obviously, we've done many videos in the past that have been extremely critical of for-profit colleges. And for some time, it would be kind of hilarious, like out of nowhere, there would be advertisements for for-profit colleges on those very videos.
That's because it gets triggered by the tags.
I know it does, but it doesn't make sense, right? So if an advertiser decides, I don't want my ad to be on that content, that makes sense, okay?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you're right. I think that advertisers and advertising agencies are stuck in their old ways. They don't understand how online content works, right? And they want super safe, buttoned up news content that doesn't appeal to anyone. The reason why television news isn't doing well is because they're afraid to delve into the controversial topics. They're afraid to get into the details, right? They do ridiculous, shallow coverage of everything. And so, okay, you can advertise there all you want, but the audience is leaving. So it's a frustrating situation.
So eventually the advertisers have to change their way of thinking, because if they just want safe programming, the reason they could have safe programming in the past is because in 1955 there's only 3 channels, and everybody watched that tube in their living room, so they had no choice. So they told all of the news and all the other programming, be safe, be safe. We don't want to turn off Republicans, Democrats, we don't want to turn off anybody, right? Now, if you're that vanilla and that safe, nobody's going to watch you, so nobody's going to buy the toothpaste. So, okay, but again, look, if anyone's got a right to be angry over this, it's us, because it's probably literally affected us more than any other channel on YouTube. So, but we get it, we understand. So look, the theories, by the way, that, oh, they're targeting people based on politics, and I love Phil DeFranco. He's a good guy. I've talked to him 1,000 times at these different events, and I think he does a great show that appeals to his demographic, and he does a great job of reaching those guys. My nephew watches him, loves him, etc., right? But Phil, it isn't about you went after social justice warriors and YouTube made a political decision. No. We're totally progressive. They've taken our videos down, not down, but they've demonetized them more than they've demonetized any of your videos, right? So it's because this is standard fare for advertisers. They eliminate the violence, the sex, the bad language, etc. Now, I already know that because I know the industry, but yet we do it all the time. You know why? Because we're a news show.
Yeah.
I know that they don't monetize. I see all the numbers every day, right? But we do it anyway because we're here to serve you guys. I'm not going to change the programming to say, hey, man, I got to get that toothpaste ad.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at the same time, by the way, an overwhelming majority of our videos are quote-unquote advertiser friendly. It's just normal news stories about the news of the day, etc., and they don't trigger any of those particular categories or warnings. God bless. So, hey, on those we sell toothpaste because people need toothpaste, right? And the others we do, even though we know that they don't pay well, because that's the news.
Is this advertiser friendly?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I know everybody's on red alert, and I get that if somebody just told you, wait a minute, you're missing a huge chunk of your money, that you're going to flip out over it. But just look at the facts and figure out what actually happened here. And when you do, if you're angry at anybody, I really don't think it should be YouTube. If you think you've been targeted, I would be shocked if that were true. I don't think that's the case at all. And if you're a conservative, which, by the way, Phil DeFranco, I don't know what his exact politics are, so I'm not putting this on him. But if you're a conservative, then you should be ecstatic because they've taken down a lot more of our videos in terms of monetizing them. So congratulations, mission accomplished, right? But that's not what's going on here. So let's all work together to help advertisers catch up to the real world that exists today. Because, by the way, yes, I guess it's a form of criticism of them, but it's also to help them because they can't sell their products if they don't know who their audience is.
Exactly.
Their audience isn't Ozzie and Harriet anymore. It's us.